Hey, hi all. So I'm back again with another Java interview video, and basically today I will be covering with most asked interview questions of interfaces and abstract classes. And I have covered most asked. This will be a quick short video, and we'll be covering most asked interview questions from the perspective of the point of the interview of interfaces and abstract class. Some of the major differences between them, and from the latest versions of Java, like how what have been differed between the interfaces and abstract class, what are the new features have been introduced in interface and abstract class. So let's get started. If you haven't liked, share and subscribe my channel, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Yeah, so first question can be asked, like nowadays, like from Java 9 onwards, if interfaces can have the private methods. But before Java 9 we don't have any private methods declaration, but from Java 9 onwards we can have the private method declaration inside the interface. As you will be aware that from Java 8 onwards we can have the default static methods inside that default static methods along with the definition inside the interfaces. But from Java 9 onwards we can have the private like methods also, but these private methods can't be called directly by the class who will be implementing this interfaces. For calling this private method, we need to call this method inside in any of the default method or the static method, and through that method the private method will be called. This is the approach, and apart from this, the main advantage of this private method got introduced in Java 9 onwards, that it achieves the code reusability features of that particular private method. So that's why we are reusing this particular private method inside another default method, so it achieves the code reusability. So that is another interview question can be asked, that from Java 9 onwards can we have the interfaces have the private methods, as abstract classes can have that particular, but from Java 9 onwards interfaces can also have the private methods, and the purpose is to reuse the common code between the default or static methods. Okay, so next question. Next question is like related to this only. I have covered some more detailed things, that from Java 9 onwards we can have that abstract methods inside that interface. Default methods can be there, static methods as these two are introduced from Java 8 onwards only, but abstract method can also be there inside interface, and private methods and along with private static method can also be there from Java 9 onwards. And these private methods will improve code reusability inside interfaces and will provide choice to expose only our intended methods implementation to users. These methods are only accessible within that interface only and cannot be accessed or inherited from an interface to another interface or class. So you got it, like that particular we are calling this private method inside any other default method or static method, and through that only we are accessing that particular method, and some other class or interfaces can't directly access that particular private methods. This says that. Okay, so these are the some of the new features got introduced from Java 9 onwards, that private methods along with private static method can also be there inside that interface. This is another question, that abstract class can have a main method. Yes, abstract classes can have a main method. Execute or purpose is to execute or test static method or code in the abstract class. So public static void main method can be there in the abstract class. This is totally allowed in the inside the abstract class, and you can easily the class which will extend this abstract class, you can easily call this, or sometimes you need to cover some test static methods or code in the abstract class, so you can easily call this particular abstract class there. So that is another question is being asked. Okay, so next question, can interfaces have constructors? No, interfaces do not have any constructors because they cannot be instantiated directly. This is another advantage, that abstract class can have the constructor but interfaces can't have the constructors. Can abstract class be final? No, abstract class cannot be final as it will be extended. So while final prevents extension, so that's why abstract classes cannot be any way final in Java. Then we have that can interfaces extend multiple interfaces? Yes, Java allows multiple inheritance interfaces, so that's why interfaces can have that multiple interfaces. It can extend one interface, can extend multiple interfaces. This is the advantage, and it also solves the diamond problem. Multiple inheritance, so like interfaces solve the diamond problem also. Next question. Default versus static method inside the interfaces. To default belongs to basically implementing class, and static belongs to the interface. Means the class which will implement that default method interface, so it will belong to that particular, because through class object we will be calling that default method, or that class can override a particular default method also of interface. And these default and static method definitions can be provided from Java 8 onwards. It got introduced. So another advantage or the difference is that default methods can be overridden, but the static method cannot be overridden. And the next difference is that, see here I have created one example. My interface default void show is a method definition, then static method is there, void utility is a definition, and demo implements my interface. Okay, then we have created one test class, and public main method is there, and we are calling direct default method, and but static method would always be called with the name of the interface dot particular static method, as static method doesn't require any object need to for calling it. Okay. And next question, why need abstract class if interface abstract methods, as already interfaces having the method, so why need the abstract class? Because abstract class is allowing the constructor for the initialization of the objects and instance variable. Interfaces are still for API contracts and polymorphism. Use abstract class when sharing code plus state. Okay, so interfaces has some limited permissions that you need to every time you need to initialize the variables, like, and the variables should be public, static, final. But the abstract class can have the constructor and the instance variable. These are the some differences. Next question, when to use abstract class or interface over interface? So abstract class is used when need of constructors is there or non-static fields are there, and partial implementation is common. And interface is used when we need the multiple inheritance or diamond problem need to be solved, or only method signature or constants are required. Like if we want to have the default method to be used, then we go for interfaces. Suppose in an existing project we have the requirement that some particular class is implementing the old interface, and they need to override some extra method, but other classes do not need to override that particular method. So in interface we introduce default method, so that particular classes can override it and they can further use it, but other classes which are not required, so they cannot override it. So these are the some differences between interfaces and abstract class. Mainly interfaces for multiple inheritance you can go, and abstract class when we need of constructors. Okay, next question. There is another question is there from Java 17 onwards. We have the shield interfaces or the classes. So shield interface of classes restricts or it gives the permission on the interfaces which can extend or implement them. So suppose for example shield interface we have defined, and shield is the keyword, and this is giving the permission that circle and square only can implement this particular interface. Other than that, if the interface or classes try to implement it, so it will give the error. So, and for implementing it, that class, it should be final, either it should be shield or it should be non-shield. So if the class is final, so no further subclasses can be there of circle suppose, and if it is shield, so further restricted inheritance can be there. Like if here we have defined shield class circle implement shape, so we can give the further permit, or we can give the permission that the further class can inherit or not. And non-shield open for any subclass. If we defined as non-shield class circle implements shape, so we have given that this particular class can be further subclass. These are the three ways that subclasses can be final, shield or non-shield, but interface or abstract class should be defined as shield, and they should give the permission or permits to that particular classes. This is the more advanced concept I will cover in another session. As of now, can we use variables in interface? Yeah, we can use the variables inside the interface, and variable should be public, static and final. Okay. And this is the detailed PPT I have created, that interface implements having the implement keyword, and abstract class is having the extend keyword. Interface starts with interface keyword, abstract class starts with abstract class. Constructors are not allowed in interface, abstract class allowed constructors. Method types only abstract can be there from before Java 8 onwards, but in abstract class abstract and concrete, but after Java 8 onwards can be methods, default, static, private method definition can be there inside the interface, but in abstract class any type can be there. And access modifier only public, Java till Java 7 version, and abstract class public, protected, etc. Multiple inheritance allowed through interfaces, that is the main advantage of interface. Abstract class not allowed, and fields can be public, static, final only, but in abstract class instance and static fields can be there. And main method is allowed from Java 8 onwards, and as an abstract class also, public static main method is allowed. That is the